Every Other Time with Eric, recurring and part of the Every Other Time with Eric cohort, friend of the show, someone who's been nothing but kind to me, the show, and everything in between. Mwafreeka is in the building. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Yeah?
I would say long time no see, but not really, man. Us guys we keep in touch quite often. I bumped into you at the gym the other day. I was having a slow day. How have you been?
Funny enough, I had a slow day like on so Saturday night. I told you I had to handle some family stuff. So natoka, I get home and I'm like, you know what? Before this boxing fight happens, let me rush to the gym and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like ile natraita kulift.
That day I did, funny enough, I only did the treadmill and I think I'd pulled that thing kidogo.
Yeah.
And I went to gym out of guilt. Because I was like, guy, I'm on a journey, nini. But we've been working so much. Sometimes you need to just listen to the body.
Yeah.
I'm glad I went so that at least I felt I was there and my body's one that said no. Because if I didn't go, I'd have just been feeling guilty like a bum, you know. How have you been otherwise, man? I can see the gym gains kidogo.
Nimekuwa hakuna gym gains but
No, I mean, you look well. Maybe it's my mind playing tricks, but you look a bit more formed, yani.
Someone told me that because I think if you're there with yourself every day, you don't feel it. Especially the fact that when it comes to what food diet, I'm not that as disciplined as I'd love to be. So there's that side. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. But you're just going there and pushing to the next level. I remember like the first time we went, what's the weight we did? 10 kgs, eh?
I think like 10, yeah.
Yeah, so what usually like I was with one of the trainers and I was trying 60 kgs, like shika 30 on this side and 30. And they're like, I've come from far.
You've come from far. And
I struggled. I was not able to, but at least.
Actually, my mind is not playing tricks because I've realized there's a picture you posted at the data center with Sajid.
Yeah.
That's when I first noticed, I'm like, this guy's getting a bit buff.
Yeah.
That's why I noticed. You're also standing in a bit of a posture. So for my fans as well, you know, me, we started a journey search for weight loss, but I've been, for the first time ever, I've been losing weight, but I've been building. Yeah. So for the first time, I feel like I'm also getting, so sometimes I look at myself with my shirt off, I'm seeing a different shape, especially upper body. So that's a new thing. It's different because I was always a girl of just cardio losing. So I like being stronger. It's quite a nice thing.
Yeah.
Off camera, we're just talking about, look at how Mwaf is just he's doing well in life. Yani. I was telling my passengers, for guys who've come from states who are going to Diani, are the guys who rock these, man.
These ones are interesting because I had the Sony 1000 XM4s. Eh? My people just call them XM4s. And then, like, my wife lost her headphones. So when she lost her headphones, she, you know the way the women are, she just took mine because I don't use mine every day in quotes. So she took the Sonys. And then, coincidentally, birthday kafika. So birthday kafika, she's like, I need to buy you your headphones because I've taken this. And that's how I took advantage. Inflated the budget kidogo. Then nikaongeza juu nikanunua hizi because these are more on the higher end. But I've really enjoyed them. So
funny enough, I'm going through a reverse version of what you're going through.
Yeah.
I have some JBLs and we have some Sonys. So when I bought them, we didn't say who's are who's between my wife. We just said whichever's are. Then I eventually liked the JBLs. Eventually she liked the Sonys. But because I wear headphones so often, I've worn them down, yani.
Yeah.
And of course, plus things like gym. So Juicy, I've kind of started wearing hers, and now it's become a thing that like, okay, you've ruined yours, now you're wearing mine. So I might need to also invest soon enough. Yeah. But generally, you're doing well in life. My producer had the privilege of going to Ikonini studios to try to help retrieve some footage that we lost for an episode. And he was telling me that when he saw your editing hardware and software, his mind was blown. You know, it's like, this guy's able to render in an hour. You get rendering fast sometimes takes 8 hours, 9 hours. Hey.
Yeah, like for me, anything more than like, if it's a 1 hour show, anything more than 30 minutes will be there like, this has taken too long. So, but it's one of those investments which I feel I needed to do because now I'm treating the pod as part of the business. So
what do you mean part of? Isn't it the business?
As in it's the business, yes. So since it's the business, you need to have like the best machines and what. So because time is of the essence. So sometimes you feel like if this is going to take me this amount of time and it can take me much less. Because like, for example, when we used to edit, because we used to shoot the wrong way. These are things you discover afterwards. Even when you're shooting with a phone, we didn't used to shoot the right way. You should still shoot like in log, because log, it's easier to color grade, and that means that even when the computer is rendering it, it's going to render it fast. We used to shoot just kawaida, like using the normal thing, and then when we color grade, it would take 3 hours, 4 hours, even with a Mac. So that's the time I was like, maybe I need to do something different. And that's when the Mac Studio came in. And even with that, all that tweaking, the Mac Studio would take at least 1 hour for a 1 hour show. Now after going to log, now it's like 30 minutes. It's like, 20 something minutes, and you're through with like a whole hour of 4K footage. So.
And I must say some pointers you've pointed out, because you also, the way I watch your show avidly, I think you watch my show periodically.
Yeah.
And some of the things you've pointed out, we've actually made the requisite changes. I think you saw in the last trio episode, a lot of the color grading was better, the lighting was better.
Yes.
So we're also learning as we go, and you're one of the people we learn from, man. So, but it's a really nice journey, man. You still love podcasting? I love it.
Yeah, of course I love it. It's one of those things that, to get to give your opinion. And I love, for me also, I also look at it for the evolution point of view, where at some point, all people used to look forward to were the interviews. And then with the interviews, I remember like there's this one conversation that I had with director Trevor. And I'd just started doing the reviews. And he was there telling me like, hey, Mof, whatever you're doing is very good. Like, never rely on other people to take yourself to the next level. Because what happens when they're not available? Then you understand?
That is
what
such
happens. Yeah, so when he told me that, I started doing the reviews. I really started doing them. And originally the comments were like, you know nothing, you know what, to, oh, you know something. Oh, I always look forward to you. So I've loved that evolution.
That's a very nice thing to bring up, and I know you're not a spiritual guy, but me, I'm against serendipity, because Jana, I had a very slow day. I just like 5 things happened that were not supposed to happen, and I was just having a low day, a low moment. So I remember thinking about how, because this same guy I was telling you off camera, he was meant to come yesterday, and I had put so many things in play to make sure that he does come. So, and then of course last minute he cancelled. And then I found out those are guys who was in my car. Like, I was dealing with some domestic things, some weird guy in this estate. Just a bunch of weird things. And I remember thinking,
your car, how do you mean? Like entered
my car. So when I entered my car, I found the chair was up and forward. So because I live on the ground floor, my car works on proximity for the key. So technically, you've seen where it's
open.
It's openable. Like if you come and try the door, you'll open because the keys, it's within range. Yeah, okay, so it's like a weird thing. So I found someone, of course I was dealing with that as well. My wonderful producer had lost some fantastic footage. He had ruined some footage. So it was just one of those, and I remember just thinking along the same lines about how I need to get more self-reliant even with how I do my show, because I've talked about this new segment. We tried the other day. We tried doing it's a lot harder than I thought, doing like a whole thing about a specific topic. But I realized it's just about the effort in. It has put in more effort, and I've been doing a lot of things tired. So the thing around how we need to be, you should not rely on other people to take your show to the next level. It's a very important point to reach in content.
It's plus I think the same thing you said, you enjoy podcasting, I enjoy it. So even you'll find yourself that the more you do something, the easier it becomes. So sometimes like I'll start a clip and I'm like, I'm going to do this for like 10 minutes. It ends up being a 25-minute clip, because the more that you're talking about something, the more you remember this, then you find things to talk about. So
plus I like the solo Mwaf videos, because we also get to see a whole other, like, we get to see snippets of your funniness on the weekend update. But now on the clips, when you're imitating guys and you're doing those voices for other people. And I've seen the production, even the production value has
and the production, of course, I'd say, like, when I kuja here and I see, damn, it's using cameras, why am I still using a phone? So you look at such stuff, you're like, you know what, maybe it's time to upgrade. I enjoy using the phone. And as I've come to discover, like, I could have used it better. There are people who used to come, they're like, you use a phone. Then you discover later, like, damn, I could have used this much better than I used to use it. But still, moving to a camera has been like one of those things that I've really enjoyed. The only thing that, I don't know, maybe you guys don't go through is the fact that we edit we shoot and sometimes edit immediately. So there are times when I've blundered where without stopping the recording, I've removed the card. And then what ends up happening is the file gets corrupted. And that's how now you have to recover the file. That's how you see now I have the software for recovering the file. Because I've done that a couple of times. Messed up what's his name, this guy, the journalist, Brian Obuya interview, messed that up.
Were you able to recover all of it?
Yes, but now you'll see the color is a little bit off because now the software has to recreate it again and make it .mp4 from cg.rsv. So there are such little things that I'm still learning. After you stop the camera, no removing the card, you chill for at least maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then you remove the card.
But it's also important to sensitize. I was flying with Skipper the other day, and he was just asking me about my show. Skipper is a captain, and he was asking me, he, in the mindset of a lot of people who don't do content, do you know that people think it's just me and a camera? And it's fun times, and they don't understand there's a whole thing behind it. You know, there's lighting, there's a set, there's a lot of intentional
sound,
production-based things. So I told him I just hired another producer, and he was like, "What? You've hired someone already?" I'm like, "Bro,
it's a lot of work.
We think we're just bullshitting here." But I could just see it was from an innocent place. It was not from a malicious. It was just people don't realize that there's a lot that goes into this.
Yeah.
I was telling folks I want to reach a point where I go on Ikonini. There are times I go on Ikonini. By the time I get home, there's a clip.
Yes.
I'm seeing myself on TV that same evening. So it's really cool to see. But now let's get to the cracks.
Yeah.
You're still stepping on toes, man. Stepping on many toes, Kwanzaa, man. The other day I called you and I asked you, bro, do you ever lose sleep? And you told me it's a dangerous path to go to care that much. So how do you deal? Because you call out Gava hard.
I won't lie to you. It gets scary. By the time we were shooting this, it's the day that DCI have said they've charged Boni with terrorism. And I remember seeing a lie writing that we also need to get the journalists and the people who are inciting this anarchy. And it makes you scared because you are there thinking that the president needs better advisors. Because the way I'm looking at it with this Boni thing is 1 minute this guy is in TZ, he's tortured. He comes back, decides he's going to sue the Tanzanian government, and then the next minute he's charged with terrorism. So we start thinking, is this because Kenya is trying to please TZ, or is this about the protests themselves? Is this about the tribal factor? You've seen the thing where it's it's only one tribe that's unhappy, it's only one tribe that's saying Kenya is doing badly. So yes, these things are scary because now you start thinking, what if they go after journalists? Of course, they'll go after podcasters.
But also teamwork. I'd say it's a teamwork thing, a negative teamwork in that, remember how we've suspected over time that these governments, especially in this region, are kind of working together to suppress the voice of the people, especially when it's anti-government. For me, I found the timing so weird because we're in such a... The calm after a storm, now you're arresting guys and charging them with terrorism. There was no reason to.
Yeah.
It was almost you guys, no one was even calling you out. Everything is chilled. People are waiting to see what's the next thing.
People even showed up for your son's Matatu launch.
Yeah.
That was a win.
And then all of a sudden, and it goes back to the advisors thing. It almost now seems like it's provocative. It's not just, it's let's... to sumbua the guys.
Yeah.
See, they sumbua us. Let's sumbua them.
Which is stupid because in such a situation, you should enjoy the calm moments. Right now, they should have been worrying more about Nane Nane. And with Nane Nane, you have people who have, I think it's protest fatigue. We are tired. Yes, we only know the main thing that we get from these protests are just coffins and funerals. So it's not worth it. So when you have people who've already, in quotes, retreated, don't be the one advancing and trying to instill fear. So I think his advisors, he has very bad advisors, and not just bad advisors. He has people who I feel are working against him.
Or extreme paranoia. You know, that happens when you're, especially for strongmen, when you read biographies of strongmen, you always realize that this guy was in a constant state of paranoia.
Yes.
Whilst they try and project this image of toughness and behind the scenes, it's shit, they're coming for me. Who's coming for me, you know?
I'm losing my presidency. Yeah.
And I like what you're saying about George and the Matatu. It was such, I mean, people showed goodwill.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of George's demeanor as well. He's a lot more likable than perhaps his sister. You know, he comes across more likable. So people kind of, you know, it's like, okay, we'll just try and compartmentalize you just as you.
Yeah.
So it's so uncalled for. And I also say, man, is it, in your estimation, you're a family man.
Yeah.
That path of activism, is it a life worth living?
Personally, I never find it to be worth it. That's why when I hear people say, this guy is paid, he's paid, who can pay you to get beat up? Because this guy has gone to the hospital a lot of times. And apart from that, now, Majuzi, he had to go through the, sexual assault. And he still does it. So I think it's one of those things where they say, if it's a calling, it's a calling. Because I don't think, a lot of people think they can be paid to be beaten up, punched, shot at, tortured. But nah, no one can pay you enough for that. We want payment for easy stuff. See, the way when we joke around things like the 527, that's what we want payment for. Something easy.
But Muff, there's two sides to that coin, I say. I always say, and it's a controversial opinion around the whole Bonnie thing, is that perhaps it's the price he's willing to pay, And I always say Tanzania, whatever happened, or they say happened, it was an anomaly in his career path.
Yes.
So to speak, and I'm using the word career loosely. It was an anomaly. In the Kenyan context, I've always felt that perhaps he's able to control. The worst you'll get is being roughed up kidogo and being arrested.
Charged with terrorism.
Okay, now, of course, being charged with terrorism, depending on, of course, time will tell in terms of how far it goes.
Yeah.
But I've always felt they've had some level of control. In Kenya, I mean, Eotwe was also another guy who had perfected the art of being arrested. Being bundled into a truck, talking shit. You'll go to Central, Weaver, guys will come, remove you. It's a photo op, it's a photo opportunity. So I feel like they had, again, controversial opinion. I feel like they had mastered that thing. I think Tanzania is where they lost control because that's not our land. You don't know the nuances that are happening there. So they lost control of the outcome.
Yeah. Okay, I'd look at it this way. You see, with Eric Omondi, there's always the fun element, the comedian element. With Boni, there's always that level of hate where cops look at him as this guy, Anatudarau. He's always bringing in these protests with what. So that's why you remember he's been shot up close na ile tear gas canister where he needed nini. He's been roughed up, zile ona amefura macho kabisa, amepigwa. So him is gone through vitu zile Eric Omondi has not gone through. So is there maybe finance to be made from that? Considering he runs, what is it called? Power 254, Mageuzi Hub. Yes, maybe there's money to be made. But the question I always ask is, hii ngumi ya macho kama juzi, I think it was up around July when he was, not July, was it June? I think May is when he was wrapped up by the police. Your time akirafio up in May, something could have happened. Remember him with a swollen eye. If this guy is punching you in the face, he's not punching you in a way like, hii macho yako ita go back to normal. You might end up with the Raila situation where you always tearing and you need... So that's why I always say that no one can pay you enough to just get beat up. If it's something that... If it's a scenario ya Gava, the way people think, where the government has paid you, see, that won't come with torture. Because the government will pay you to push... Because these things come, even I think I was accused on this, I think just within this past week, someone accused me of being paid by the government, and that's why I'm pushing the 2027 narrative. Otherwise, all people who want change right now. They can't wait for 2027. And
it's a fair question to pose to you.
Yeah.
Though I think you have the advantage of perhaps experience and maturity to understand why you got to that point of now moving to talking more about 2027.
Yeah.
But someone who might not have the savvy or the experience can easily say, umzeralipwa bana.
Majuzi we were with one of Sajid's friends, and very interesting guy.
Guy with glasses?
Yes.
Yeah, very smart guy.
Yeah, very smart guy. So we were having the conversation, and I think he broke it down in a better way than me. he broke it down from the perspective of what he's seen happening in Luo Nyanza for a very long time. So I always give people that example. Like in Luo Nyanza, I've seen Kibaki must go, Uhuru must go, sindio? And now Ruto must go. Ruto must go is not as prevalent huko as Kibaki must go and Uhuru must go, sindio? And with all this, no one left. And apart from that, the election still happened at the right time. The amount of violence that the police unleashed on the citizens was the same as what's happening right now. So with that, you come to understand that African governments are ready to take it to the next level just to stay in power. Even like when Ruto said, shoot them in the legs. I remember I did a reaction video and I said, this has been borrowed from Uganda. If you go and check out the footage from Uganda in 2021, when they had the elections, you'll notice they were going for their legs.
But isn't the shoot them in the legs thing, hasn't it been debunked even in the States where anyone with like people who know anything talk to a doctor?
Yeah,
a guy can bleed out easily.
Yes, you can bleed out easily
from being shot in the legs. It's a very ignorant, crude way of saying don't kill them. Like shoot them in the leg. It's like, bro, that's not how that works. It's like their arteries.
Yeah.
And their main arteries there. Like you might actually kill the guy.
Yeah, you might actually,
faster.
So but UG was doing it. Like if you check the footage from Nene, you'll notice a lot of people had they had been shot in the legs, they'd been shot in the arms. And this guy, they're very close with Museveni. So I think it's Museveni who told him, like, yes, with the head, it's 100% guaranteed this person is going. With the legs and the hands, it's like a 50-50 chance they might survive and they might. So that's what's happening. But
how much of politics is life? And the reason I'm asking this is when my bro Sajid argue about this a lot of times, and I think he's come to a realization that you cannot be completely tone deaf when it comes to matters politics if you do content.
Yes.
You don't have to be a political platform or podcast, but the nature of how we interface with life and the powers that be is through politics. So you always have to kind of, the conversation will always find its way there. I don't know about you, but when you go for family functions, bashes, so we'll talk about Calligraph's new song, we'll talk about the Migos, we'll talk about, and then at some point, politics. Then if you're like me, Epstein will come up at some point. The other day, you're controversial like me, Epstein will always come up. But we'll get there. So how do you walk the line of making sure you're not just a political platform whilst having a voice? Because now people also, I would say, maybe a solid third of your fans are there for your political commentary.
There's that. And that's why, like, even when doing the political commentary, I always do the other nonsense that I do so that people understand it's not just about that. I'm still someone who, like the Weekend Update, for example, we talk politics, but then we talk a lot of bullshit, So people need to know that fun side. But when it comes to politics, I always say the only reason even a platform like Ikonini exists is because Kenyan politics is different from Tanzania politics. See, Tanzania politics is we all have to sing CCM. We all have to sing. But with Kenya, you're given that freedom of choice. I can do this, I can do that. But right now, I feel it's because we are headed to 2027. So, and the things that are happening right now are very different, like from anything that we've experienced before. See, now, terrorism charges. Like we've always known protesters exist. They are charged even with arson and all that. But we've never had terrorism. Because even someone was, I think I'd seen a certain lawyer say, if you want to charge these people, at least charge them with arson and destruction of property.
Terrorism is wild.
But terrorism is wild. But the whole idea behind that is terrorism is not bailable. You know that,
Oh, really?
It's not a bailable offense. So,
and also, historically, if you remember however many years ago it was when Kenya was grappling with the terrorism problem.
Yeah.
I remember a time where lights would flicker in Nakanakumat and everyone's panicking because of historically what had been happening in Kenya. And even us as the citizenry didn't have grace for the fact that it's unbailable. Remember, it was like, if you think those guys are terrorists, do what you must. No one was coming out to say no, but they are potentially... The citizenry had also kind of given a pass to the security agents. Like, if you think these guys are terrorists, and of course this is terrorists before now what they're trying to espouse about the likes of Kinaboni. So, right now as we speak, are you saying that the guy is not... He cannot post bail?
Yeah, I had something like that. That the whole idea behind putting it that high is so that you can't post bail. Alafu, Kenya has this habit where you're charged and they tell the judge they want to hold you as they continue the investigations. Remember the Didi situation?
Yeah, which was unfair.
Yes. Didi's house was raided. Sindio? I think he was raided, March or May. Then he was arrested in September. Why? Because when you raid, that's when you're collecting your evidence. Don't arrest me, throw me in jail, take up all my stuff, and then claim you're still doing the investigation. So don't be surprised. Like, that's going to be the thing. Like, okay, let's hold him for the next 10 days as we search for evidence. And it's not supposed to work that way.
So we are going to be charged with inciting terrorism?
Yeah, that's what they've written. I think it was terrorism and anarchy.
But what happened to a lie? Money?
No, with a lie, I look at it this way. One of the best things is Ruto knows how to make friends. Yes?
Is that money?
Yeah, yes. And the way Ruto makes friends is they say that he makes you rich beyond your wildest dreams.
So for Mwafreeka lose 100 million US.
Yes. So for me, he'll be like, what do you normally say? $1 million would change your life forever? Because me, $1 million would change my life forever. This is money that I can live in even a rented house of $4,000. You understand? Because I can invest the money in a way that
just
it
keep
brings...
it somewhere and chill.
Take it. So with that's what he does. So he makes you... So when I look at a lie, I look at his Runda land case. The Runda land case where there's this person who's lived on that land for over 30 years. Of course, and then there's this other younger guy who is an MCA in Kileleshwa.
Kileleshwa, yeah.
Where did he get the money to buy this Runda land? You understand?
Did you see how those guys were being pushed out initially? Yeah. It hurt my heart. I don't know the intricacies of the case, but when I saw that Mwindi guy and I think it was a lady.
Yeah, just being pushed.
And they were being shoved, and I think I'll ask folks to find the footage here. And that one I was like, wow. And I'm like, when did this guy turn into this guy? Yeah, and I'm supposed
to... That's what I'm telling you. So now he knows. Under a Ruto presidency, the probability can end up owning that land is very high. And don't forget, I always say as much as we are human, we're also part of the animal kingdom. And the animal kingdom is survival of the fittest.
Man.
Yes. So if I can end up getting land in Runda for free, and all I need to do is just support this one guy, I'll support him. Understand? Like a lot of us, we'd say we'd not do it, but right now, given a chance, you're just there chilling somewhere, then someone is like, you can get this land, Karen, for free. And there's already a house on that land. And this land, peke yake, it's going to make you a $1 millionaire. All you have to do is support everything that I do, support my atrocities, either through talking or just keeping quiet. A lot of people will take that deal. So I think that's the deal that's happened with Alai, because there are things he supports. When I saw him supporting the whole Boni terrorism thing, I remembered, when he had been arrested under Uhuru government, one of the people saying free Alai was Boni in the front line, fighting for him, you see. But he's forgotten all that. Now it's gone back to Ruto can do no wrong. The only people who are unhappy is Central Province.
And then adding fire. The part you add about, now let's also go for the journalists.
Yes.
In modern day, like you said earlier, and I agree, in modern day times, journalists are podcasters. Man.
Yes.
We are part of the what estate?
The fourth estate.
Fourth estate, because nowadays people are tuning into such shows for matters, anything, pop culture, politics, everything. We are strong voices. But what for a brief moment, I want to just imagine what is money beyond your wildest dreams? Because the reason I'm asking that is, for the most part, yes, we know that powers that be buy people or pay people off. But paying people off is one thing. Paying you what you would not even have imagined is another thing.
Yeah.
So...
For $5 million, I know, like, shit, I'm rich in any part of the world.
What kind of money? Let's just... Everything here is allegedly.
Yeah.
So let's just throw some names in there and imagine how much you think this guy was given. So let's lie. How much you think he was given?
I think it's the Runda land. Like, you can actually own this. You just need to support the regime.
You don't think it's a cash thing?
No. I think there's that. And then maybe a stipend from Sakaja. So maybe that's there.
A stipend of how much? I want us to do figures. Allegedly everything.
If it's a stipend from Sakaja, it would maybe 1 million shillings a month. Because if Tukama Raila is getting 200 million per month, you know that?
Yeah.
That's how much
That's
Raila
the
gets.
rumored figure.
Yes, the rumored figure is Raila gets 200 million to keep this guy as the governor. Otherwise, he'd already have been impeached by now.
You don't think that's kidogo? Because I was the reason I'm saying I think it's kidogo. The other day, I was talking to a friend. Of course, we know the case in court around someone who's being accused of trying to bribe the former governor. He was offering bro, 5 them a day to keep this. Keep using this jumbo pay thing.
Yes,
we'll give you 5 mics a day.
See, that 5 mics a day comes to 150 per month.
But that's just from jumbo pay.
Yes, but jumbo pay was the main revenue collector.
Remember the same guy on a platform with your best friend Kibe talked about 50 mic a day. Was the cut for the governor. I'm whispering because I'm also scared. Was the cut for the...
Yes.
So 50 a day times 5 times 4. That's like how much?
1 billion a month.
Billion. So maybe he's getting even a bit more.
You see, yes, but this how look at it. The 200M, if it's going, let's say we are dealing with 1 billion. If 200M is going to Raila, then you'd have to have a certain figure going to the president. Remember?
Like 400.
Because the president has his hand in everything. You remember that's what Uhuru was saying? That the worst thing about this guy is everything. Moja yako, moja ya mwananchi, 5 zangu. So for Ruto, it's always, I have to make the most. So I think that's what's happening. So of course, all these are allegations. And
of course, everything is allegedly. In fact, everything. In fact, right now we're in a fantasy parallel universe. None of this has happened. Come on.
Yes.
How much for you, though? Because Maf, it's money beyond your wildest. This is for your. I've met your daughter. I've seen your wife. You're a family man. You love your famo. I've met your nephew.
Yeah.
Money beyond your wildest
to
dreams.
me, beyond $5 million. That's a lot of money.
That's a hell of a lot of money. What are you doing with 5 million? Yes.
5 million. Funny enough, $1 million would be for me. $1 million. Set my family up in generational wealth. 4 million would be to create a little subsidy. There's this one Chinese, him is a billionaire. And I saw what he did in his local village after becoming rich, of course, through legal means. That's what I always picture in my mind. That I'd be the first guy to bring commercial activities to the village and try and see.
Where do you get this? Because this is a foreign principle. My auntie who lives in the States, she's lived in the States half her life, and she always says how one thing she prefers about America is the community-leaning approach to a lot of things.
Yeah.
People always feel the need to kind of give back. Where do you get that from? Because that's not a Kenyan thing.
I think it's also the same thing. Like I've gone to, when you travel to these places and you see, and then when you learn about everyone from the Rockefellers to the Carnegies, Ford, and you always hear there's like a Ford Foundation, there's this.
Carnegie.
Apart from that, they're creating jobs. You see, like Ford. You can try and imagine how many jobs Ford has created in all those generations. And this is how I normally look at it. Like if I'm living in a good house and I have a good car, and let's say my wife also has a good car, I don't need a garage full of cars for me. I also don't need expensive clothes. See, like the way the president was wearing like a 7 million shilling jacket. I don't need that. You see, he needs that. When he wears that, he feels good.
But let me ask you, Maf, that because I think there are two things at play here before I even come back to this. A 7 million jacket, I think it's not even about flexing on the people or, bro, if you're 4 trillion in, that's not a thing to you. That's not even that's a probably to him, there's no difference between a jacket for that much and a jacket for 200k and a jacket for 5M and it's all the same. If you have 4 trillion shillings.
Yes. The counter argument to that would be, have you ever seen the richest guy in the world, Elon Musk, wearing all that expensive nonsense? He does not. Even remember, what's his name? I think Zuckerberg is on record saying that he has like 5 t-shirts and they all look the same. And they
in fact, he's pangered his wardrobe same color, so you don't have to think about it.
And they're Walmart t-shirts. You see, like $5 t-shirts and what. If it's money that you've earned, it's very rare for it to be wasted. The people who waste money normally are rappers, You know, 'cause
Now I'm
rappers-
saying, you know what time it is, man. Gucci from head to toe, man.
rappers spend on bullshit. Even there's that, you remember that song? Yeah, the story of OJ, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Remember, I think there's something he
I
talks
love
about
that song.
that he bought something, but if he'd done that, it would be right now it would be 2 million.
Yeah.
And then I'd leave it for my children.
yeah.
You see, so you look at that. So you can have all this money, but this is how I'd look at it. If I was Ruto and I had $1 trillion, I'd look at Sugoi. Turning, that place that everyone tells me go back to Sugoi. I'd make Sugoi so good that I'm tagging in the Sugoi.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll never understand the 7 million jacket thing. A cloth is not something you can use every day.
Ridiculous.
You see, a car you can use every day.
$7 million jacket, bro.
Yes, like
Yeah,
that.
there's no money. Even me, even if I was $1 billion in,
Yes.
bro, you cannot convince me to buy a 7 million shilling jacket.
It's just. But one thing I've come to notice is, I think back in the days I didn't like when what's his name, Kibe was talking about them as you Shag Mondos, these guys from Shags and what. But I've come to realize. Remember, there's this period in the 90s especially when I always say when KTN Kujat, you're too young your time, but when KTN Kujat, we started seeing about life outside. Alafu the concept of Barbies came in. Like, unajua ama Barbie, they wear this. So like in 1995 there was a concert for this guy Coolio came.
I remember. I
Vile
was 6.
When Coolio Kujat, there was like the sun was shining. Like he performed during the day, and people were there wearing their puff jackets, sagging pants, because that's what we'd seen. So that time it was easier to identify the middle class and the upper class by what they were wearing.
For the Gen Z's watching, Coolio's "I'll see you when you get there"
and Gangsta's Paradise. So with that, I think for people like Akina Ruto, who that time were broke, they'd look at that and say, like, look at all these rich kids. Look at what they're wearing.
A story is told, or part of this conjecture around these guys and this new dispensation is they've always been very aspirational to old money.
Yes.
Old money is like the older guy, the previous guy. The previous guy was born literally silver spoon.
Yeah.
Grew up in State House, the works. We all know the story, but they say there's always been this inferiority complex around how this guy currently perceives the older guy, the former guy. And old money doesn't. I mean, look at Uhuru's dressing style.
Yeah.
Old money doesn't try per se, especially to impress outwardly.
Yeah.
So this kind of new money, the narrative is told that he's always trying to reach the level of the other guy. And perhaps by now, even maybe from a net worth standpoint, maybe he's even surpassed.
Yeah.
But I think there's a respect and there's still an inferiority complex attached to him. And perhaps because in his mind, because of where he's from, he doesn't feel like he's been accepted.
Yes, he's been accepted, yes. Yes, I always feel that. Because even when I see now the two minions around him wearing that expensive shit. Like, I remember there's a shirt that had been shared, Aaron Cheriot, 268,000 shilling shirt. Remember when he was wearing red bottoms and he was walking like making sure we see the red bottom. It reminded me of the rapper. You watch the rapper, the American rapper, who was rapping, and as he walks, he throws his feet up so that you can see he's wearing red bottoms.
Yeah, I think I've
you see
seen
now
this.
when you have politicians doing that, they're like,
But
like, why do I need a 7 million shilling jacket? At least leave that for some trust fund for your great grandkid. And the problem I have with his clothing is it's not only the jackets, it's the shirts. Every shirt that he wears is a Stefano Ricci.
And the internet doesn't give these guys a chance.
Yeah. It's a Stefano Ricci. Like even the t-shirt he was wearing, like there's a photo he shared where he's in the garden. And if he wears, all his shirts are at least $2,000. Do you think he's wearing like $5 t-shirts, $15 t-shirts, or even $50 t-shirts? He's not. He's wearing most probably $500 t-shirts. And you're there thinking like, you're a president of a third world country. When you go to these countries and you're meeting, what's that guy from Britain, Keir Starmer or something? If he looks at you and he sees your expensive stuff, and then he looks at the country, he does not respect you. He ends up actually looking down on you. But and he starts, that's how they dehumanize us. They're like, these assholes. As long as they have a little money, they don't care about their people.
But don't you think perhaps they've understood their people, because we worship wealth. as a people. We worship. In fact, wealth is a tool for forgiveness nowadays. You see, guys just get away with things because they're wealthy, even optically. Like if you look at some of the politicians we have in terms of opulence, people are so, they idolize them just because they're wealthy. It's not about how you got the wealth.
Even the George Ruto thing. Why was that launched that full? It's because he's wealthy.
Because he's wealthy.
Yeah. Otherwise, any random person who's just saved up everything to buy a tree and you call for a launch, people are like, we're kichwako ni mbaya.
But Moff, ultimately, I think you're a better man than me. 1 million out of 4 of the 5, just for you, me, I'm keeping 4.5.
And spending 5.
The rest, no, I'm not spending, but I'll keep 4.5. Yeah. But switching gears, man, I was telling you when in the gym, Juicy, you've been having bang after bang. And one conversation that really sparked my interest was this Gloria Oroba lady. And the jury is still out in my head about whether what she says is true or our spouses is true. But of course, I saw Awoko did a response to you.
Yeah.
And so the thing she's mainly insinuating is that a lot of transactional things happen in Parliament, Senate, especially for women when it comes to favor or climbing the ladder. Nothing new in terms of society, but we would have always wanted to imagine that in 2025, our systems have evolved beyond sex for transaction. And of course, she had some choice words about Karenyama. So, in your opinion, did you take what she said wholeheartely, or what are your thoughts?
Funny enough, she's very consistent with what she says. And if you start from the way I break it down in part 1 and part 2, you can feel she never like veers off from like the main point. So that's the reason why I took like a lot of stuff she was talking about, wastage of money and how just like everyone is two-faced. Like a lot of people will pretend they're fighting for the people and they're not fighting for the people. So I believed a lot of stuff that she was saying. And is she right now desperate and what? But that's what normally happens. When people leave, that's when now they can talk about everything that they saw. Because when you're within the system, you have to play with the rules of the system. And I think there was that. But I was being told by someone else who is also in those political circles that it brought a lot of there was even a government group where Ikonini was being discussed, and those like there were specifically 2 girls, was it Nyamo and Sabina Chege? They were really angry at Uruoba.
But why would and I don't know any of these women personally, but I'm just going by the things they display. A good friend of ours, Mwafreeka, famously can quote him saying, I'm a senator. But some of the per diems, bro. These guys have been given per diems of more than 200 G's a day.
Yes. And you're from a third world country.
When was this passed? Because these things are passed.
It's always been the government thing, and it's always been that. That's why I always say like one of the most surprising experiences for me is I've always known that when you travel, you're supposed to be given per diem. That's why I normally give the Ghetto Radio example.
Yeah, the story.
Where I went to Netherlands, no per diem. Went to the US, no per diem. And that's when I noticed that in those developed countries, taxpayers' money is so respected. I think there's also this story of a woman in either it was from Denmark, Sweden, one of these Scandinavian countries, traveled and wanted to buy gum. But the only card that she had was the government one. Swiped it for gum. And that killed her political career. Because they're like, how dare you use our money?
You're not chew on our dime?
Yes. But for this, you see that there's even this story that we talked about it on the weekend update with Rapture. And the story was there's this lady who used to work for Treasury and was able to withdraw 67 million shillings. And part of the money was for entertainment. Like, you do have entertainment allowance at your job.
I wish.
You understand? Like, the fact that for government, you need entertainment allowance. Government.
But also the 200 plus K a day. Bro, we've traveled.
Yeah.
Kwani, which hotel is this? And that's not for hotel.
Yeah, that's
personal.
No, but I think what she said was they don't pay your hotel and they don't pay your food. Yes? But we've gone to these countries.
Bro, you can get a decent hotel for
even $80.
A tenth of that.
Yes.
Not even a tenth. Man.
$80, you're getting a very good hotel. $100, Because remember, but them, they're going there to please their hoes also. They're going to do some, you call them debauchery.
Yeah.
They're going to do some bullshit. But for us, if you're going there, for food, the funny thing, most of them will end up eating junk food, which is cheaper in America than it is
That's
in Kenya.
cheap. That's these dollar menus, man.
Yes. So when you look at this, like, they should not be given all these things. It's supposed to be simple. As a government, we are booking this hotel for you, and this is coming full board. Anything else, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's on you.
We already
You're
pay
shopping.
quite handsomely.
Yes, you're shopping, you're what. But you see, all this money looks like a lot until you start thinking about it. Like, the way their salaries are like 1 million shillings. You look at 1 million shillings and you're there like, with the lifestyle that they want to live, you can't survive with 1 million shillings. Because you want to, I think there's an Ikonini fan who told me that he went into a store and found there were two like Nyanza. There was a Nyanza governor and a Nyanza MP, ladies. And their shopping carts were full. And him had just taken his friend there to just buy like some cheap stuff. And they were there just buying that high-end shit. And he's looking at them and he's like, damn. Because they walk around with their Kenyan things. And they think that when they're buying this expensive stuff, they're actually impressing the people there. And the people there, the minute they know that you're a politician, their respect,
I'm a senator.
Yes, they lose all the respect that you have. Yeah, I'm a VIP in my country. Like, who gives a fuck? You understand?
But let me ask you, you're saying these ladies were purportedly mad in a WhatsApp group, but and I'll speak more for one more than the other, the senator. The way she carries herself, why would she be mad that people view her a certain way? Or people would assume.
You see, this started out as cool. Twerking. Like, if you twerked, you are the cool person. You're the one who understands the youth. But now the youth have been awakened and told that you need to expect more from your leaders. Twerking is not a solution. Saying Ngome Mbwekse is not a solution. So with that, they've started getting something that other politicians didn't get. Because even someone like, by the time Kibaki was dying, politicians were respected and revered. You see, the only time they were hated was they were hated by one side, mostly based on tribe or the
Just
tribal
political
kingpin.
alignment. Yeah.
But right now, you're getting instant feedback, and it's honest. It's people telling you, this is bullshit. This is not what we elected you for. So with that, there's a certain level of maybe I should change.
And
but then you need to please the master, who's the president.
And if people think we're haters, I gave, for example, Karen, I gave her a lot of the benefit of the doubt because I was like, okay, maybe she's just playing into a version of politics. Until I watched a Spice interview maybe 3 months ago. Yeah. And bro,
she was struggling.
She
can't articulate herself.
My goodness, I was like, wow. And then, of course, and Ndu Oko is brilliant. Like, she played the game the whole time, you know, acting like, I don't know, this is a blonde I'm dealing with, this is also a surprise to me. And you could just tell from the moment she walked in, because the first thing Karen led with was like, this was my classmate. We did our master's class together. And her reaction to that was, like, yeah, we did a master class together, but, it was a kind of, and then how the interview went after that, man, she embarrassed herself. And I don't even know if she's aware that she embarrassed herself. So
I don't think she is.
But also, I mean, in recent past, when you see the likes of president's PA, right-hand man, making guys turn around, why then would you be mad? You're the one who's playing right into it. You're the ones who are playing ball in that.
Yeah, because even like with, I remember the first time when I saw that and Sabina Chege was being told to turn, I was like, this is wrong. You can't do that to her.
And also, you expected more of her specifically, right?
Then eventually, someone then shared with me a clip of Sabina Chege way before, still with the same guy. And she was talking about
Ndani na Inje.
And they're like, damn, you're the ones who sexualized yourselves. And it's really sad because you are female leaders. And right now, we'd want women to be looked at in a certain way. Because it reminds me of that joke by this guy, Patrice O'Neill. Did you ever see his joke?
I was a huge fan of Patrice.
I remember his joke where he asked, ladies, what if you're involved in an accident and you lost your pussy? How would you keep your man? Did you see that joke?
That's funny though.
It's a funny joke. So it says that, like, how would you keep your man? Then some girl says, I'd suck his dick. Then another one saying, I'll let him put it there. Then he's there like, look, Yeah, the ones who sexualize yourself.
Yeah, that's sexualize yourself. Literally, that's the worth you're giving.
Yeah, that's the worth you're
But on
giving.
the flip side, we also had an interesting past 2 weeks with, of course, I know you're a porn connoisseur.
Yeah.
Admittedly.
Bruh, Connect Coffee is now sponsoring the podcast. Amazing brands, bro. And honestly, it's been a game changer for the podcast as well as my workflow, man. Everything's up, homie.
He's a porn connoisseur. You know? I think most men partake undercover. And I saw this, I don't know what to call it, socialite porn star?
Alicia Kanini.
Alicia Kanini, of course. And
I've not watched the clip. Funny enough, and I remember saying that, and people were like, "Mwafu nadanganya." I've actually not watched the clip. Yeah. So,
I haven't watched the new clip. I stumbled upon an old clip from before.
Yeah.
And I think I found out about Alicia late compared to like Kenyan society. But what interested me, what bored me the most was I'm not saying what she does. I'm not viva pro her and what she's doing. No, I'm not anti necessarily. I just hated this Mosira guy talking about it.
Yeah.
I feel like he's such a tired guy.
Yeah.
He's such a tired. Mosira, if you don't know, is that environmental tosser who goes around Nairobi pontificating about. And then now he's trying to take a moral stance. Those are guys sometimes through the screen, I feel like I wish we could just have a one-on-one, a 1v1, you guys. Like, no security personnel, not your money. Let's just have one. He's such a wanker, man. I saw in the comments, guys are like, well, una complain after Shanyonga. The guys gave
It's like, how did you watch that? He's talking about that she supplying more water than the city council. The city council is the one that is incompetent.
Yeah.
You can't blame Alicia Kanini for having more water than the Ganjo.
What's that guy's angle? What is the angle he's trying?
I think this is what I'd had. The original plan was Sakaja does 2 terms, makes as much money as possible, then runs for president in 2032. Then the new Nairobi governor is Mosiria. So that's why Mosiria is always in the front line, because he's being groomed to be the next governor. So this other guy is trying to make as much money as possible. And so that's what...
How you think Mosira can... I know that Sakaja has great shoes to fill, but do you think Mosira can step into those shoes really?
No, not really, but that's what I wanted. That was the plan. So it's push him out here, make him more of a socialite. And that's why he always has a camera, that like all those theatrics and all that bullshit. But it's not working out that way, because as things stand right now, Sakaja is one term, So, and if he's one term, he's going to really want Ruto to stay as president, because the next guy might be, we need some of this Nairobi money back.
People say I've had people also say Sakaja, of course, if 2 term doesn't work, is also just building wealth to buy a CS position, because those things are they're usually up for grabs.
Yeah.
So that's also the next, apparently, his next move.
Yeah, because I think even, who else is also looking for a CS position? I think there's someone, Potelea. But there are those people who are banking on that. Even like Kimani Shongwa, because they know elective politics, story meisha. So now it's look for this other opportunity.
But I hate to say this, there is a chance of a 2 term even for this guy.
For Sakajama, for...
number 1.
Yeah. That's always there.
What does that look like?
That's always there because of number 1. A lot of people who are angry want change right now. So the probability that they'll go to a polling station and register as voters is low. Because you see, if you're angry and this is the first time that you're angry and this is the first time that you think, oh, a president is killing people. I remember I was talking to Sajid's friend and there were a lot of Ikonini fans there when Sajid's friend was telling them, like, you know what? This guy has killed less people than Uhuru and Kibaki. I was like, yeah, Kibaki killed much more people than Ruto. Uhuru did the same. But people don't want that reality. So those people who feel like this guy is the worst might end up not voting because they don't feel like they can wait for 2027. And that's going to be very good for him. So there's that side. Another sad side is he's been able to do something that, and all this I learned from Sajid's friend. So Sajid's friend is a Kikuyu, yes? So he says he'd never traveled to Luo Nyanza. And then he travels to Luo Nyanza. So he'd interacted with Luos in Nairobi. So, you know, the pride of educated, blah, 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 especially the upper class, the way they are bourgeois, goes to Luo land and finds kids running around butt naked. Looks at universities. He's supposed to be the most, part of the most educated population. Very few universities. Look at the school. He looks at the schools dilapidated and all that bullshit. Then looks at what Ruto is doing. What has Ruto done? If you look at what Ruto is doing in Homa Bay right now, he's turning Homa Bay into one of those luxury cities. He's investing kabisa in Homa Bay. And most probably he's doing the same in Kisumu. I don't know if he's doing that, and in Siaya. So the narrative that he's pushing to these Luos on the ground is, remember the way all these other governments have ignored you? Have not ignored you as much. So now give me your vote. So you see now he'll end up with the Luo vote, especially that rural crowd.
Those guys are many, eh?
The Kalenjin crowd is locked. Sindio?
Are they? Is that not up for debate?
It's not up for debate. Tribalism in Kenya is so entrenched that
One of my colleagues who comes from Kalenjin land, he was telling me, like, you know, of course he's very land, he's a captain. I mean, he was saying how he shares the same thing. He's like, boss, uko mashinani. Nothing's changing in terms of, you're not going to change a Kalenjin's mind about this guy.
Yeah.
Uko mashinani.
Yes, because you see now the Kalenjin in Kericho, how many people have been shot in the streets? And then you push the narrative that this fight is tribal. And as you push the narrative that this fight is tribal, someone is helping you 100%. And who's that someone? Is Gachagua. I was watching a Gachagua clip like on the day we were shooting. And he was talking about the fact that, you know what? Do you know why Kenya can't raise the taxes? It's because we as the mountain people, our businesses are doing badly, and we are the ones who move the economy. See, when you do that, you bring the tribal narrative. And if you bring the tribal narrative, it's going to be like, you see, it's them who are angry. But if you bring that national, see, like people who don't appeal to people, the likes of Akina Maraga, then they're bringing that, this is a Kenyan thing. This is a Kenyan problem. Let's look for a Kenyan solution. Gachagua this is a Mount Kenya problem. Let's make these other Kenyan fools help us. Because we are the only people who are businessmen, and it's a very false narrative. Yes. Are the richest people in Kenya Kikuyus? Yes. Are the richest people in Kenya Kalenjins? Yes. Why? Because of proximity to power and corruption. It's not because of some economic ingenuity.
Yeah, or some business acumen just out there.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's not because they are better hustlers than the rest. People who've listened to Ikonini I always give the example of my mom. My mom used to work 7 days a week, come rain, come shine. I do the same shit. I'm Luo. Kibe used to do the same shit. He's Kikuyu. You understand? It's nothing to do with tribe. It's just
I do the same shit. Kamba.
Yes. You understand? So there's no tribe that's more hustler than the
other. Yeah.
The only reason why Kikuyus are the richest tribe and Kalenjins, maybe the second richest tribe, is strictly because of politics. The other ones who literally made their money from business, we'd argue would be Indians. Because Indians know something that we don't know. Them, when they reach 18, kids don't move out and go start paying rent. They still stay there. They know how to make wealth.
Philosophically, we've had this argument, or not argument with Saj, and he's taught me a lot of things culturally, because, of course, he's from a different culture, and they do things differently. And you tend to think that thing for leaving the nest it's not necessarily the smartest thing.
Yes.
Especially when you're trying to keep wealth in a certain way.
Yeah.
And us guys have been taught, certain age, fly the nest, end of jipange. But you're splitting the potential by letting someone go. Yeah, and I think that's something they've understood fundamentally.
Yes, they've understood that. So, I remember sometimes when I'm listening to my wife, because she'll tell me stories of her, Asian friends. And it's the same thing you're saying with Akina Sajid, where they only spend money when it's necessary. For Sisi, mnafika 18, you're living in a 2-bedroom apartment as a single man, yes? Remember, uko peke yako, paying 60 Gs. Your brother, single, and I live in a 3-bedroom, paying 80 Gs. The two of you could live together and keep this wealth. If you're family home, your parents have a huge house, mnaweza kuwa mnaishi tu hapo ka bado mna build wealth because you have not married, you have not, but we are so used to wanting to spend
And
money.
if you look at the wealthiest Asians, for example, they have like I was in school with some guys. I remember, shout out Gibran. These guys were, so I used to think these two guys were like brothers. Kumbe they were cousins, but they grew up same. So they had some astronomical mansion in Runda that was just divided into families.
Yes.
So they're not in the same exact space, but they're in the same compound, and they all live there, and everyone blossoms from there. And the wealth was communal. So it's not Nani's kids cannot go to campus because no, the wealth is, we're all pulling from one big ass pot.
Yes.
So the opportunities are limitless.
Yeah. So with them, there's the argument that they know how to make wealth and they're different. With Somalis, that can also be made. The Somali wealth has not come mostly from politics. But there's a reason why the richest people in Kenya are Kikuyus and Kalenjins. It's because of politics. And that's one of the reasons why everyone fights to get into politics. Because no, this is a quick way
Quick
to
buck.
wealth.
But
It's a quick way to,
But I thought I had the other day, Mwaf, and the older I get, you're someone who's had some radical thoughts in your own personal life to the point you had the courage to step away from things like religion, which especially in our context is very taboo. But I was also having a thought where I'm like, bro, I don't think the world is fair, and it will never be. In terms of this thing for trickle-down economics, it's not a thing. It's not a thing.
And those two communities show you that. You see the way the wealthiest of the wealthiest. I think there's a village, I think they were saying in Nyeri, that has like 1 billionaire per square kilometer. Have you been to Nyeri? Does it look like it's
It doesn't look billionaire-esque.
You understand? So you understand like this rich, alafu, it works like racism. You see like the way with racism, white people are told that they're better than blacks. So there used to be these ones who are walikuwa na guard the slaves wasihepe and they were barely surviving, but they were told they're better than these other people. It's the same thing that happens with tribalism, where you're told, you see, our tribe, we are the business people. These other tribes, they're just consumers. Yeah, you see, if you go to this village in the middle of Pokot, the person selling to this Pokot is from our community, which is bullshit. There's like a Pokot selling to the fellow Pokot. But if you make people believe that, it makes them now feel like they're not part of the struggle. Like you look at these fools, they're struggling. Even when I'm poor, but I'm still doing better than the other person. So it's...
But holistically, when we look at things, if you look at how, for example, America has been unable to, this is the biggest economy in the world, have been unable to sort something as simple, or not simple, but fundamental as healthcare, in terms of universal healthcare for the people. Yet they spend trillions on the military industrial complex. But if you look at it, aerial, it's almost by design. So this idea that we have as Kenyans of we're holding government to task, that one day it needs to be fair and we need to have bottom up. I think it's a false idea, and sometimes I wonder, this again might sound controversial, and as we climb this social ladder throughout our different dispensations, don't you see more and more of, perhaps it's even more about getting a seat on the table than putting them to task? The higher you get, don't you see that there's more of that realistically?
Yes.
And sit at the table is not, it might not be that main table, but there's a table to be distributed at almost still a certain level. And then from there, it's just now,
I don't know how I'd look at it, because even with the seat at the table, the seat at the table can be good in its own way. Because as you said, when we look at America and healthcare, that's by design, you see. So that's why Obama tried to do the best he'd do. But if you look at other societies, I think like Canada, next door, it's universal healthcare. I remember like there's a Kenyan Rwandese who's now a Canadian, because he came to Kenya as a young Rwandese refugee, grew up here. And I remember him telling me that he wanted to relocate to Kenya and get married in Kenya. And I was asking him, like, are you crazy, man? You are in Canada where there's free medical care. Why the hell would you want to kuja here? So the seat at the table, I think, would depend with what are you going to do at the table. Are you going to just be like, it's our turn to eat? are you going to try and come up with ideas?
For the most
and
part,
be like,
even if you're altruistic, like so far you've displayed an altruistic sense. You're a guy of self and people.
yeah,
So you also you want to benefit, but also you don't have to have 8 billion here that I'm just sitting on.
yeah,
And I think it's a mix and mash of both. I have a friend in Canada as well. He migrated there. He's like, life is tough. And I think in first world, the ceiling is more clear. Like, yes, you could be a doctor, pilot, whatever it may be, but the ceiling of society is so clear. Like, you're not going to penetrate to a certain echelon
Yes.
unless you're completely and utterly talented in one thing, something very specific. So the aspiration is like here. Yeah, it's not that far up. And I think like here in Kenya, for example, if you just have a bit of an education, a bit of a know-how, a bit of savvy, you can almost, when you penetrate society, of course, what you're going to find here is politics and the political arena. And now this is where you play ball. I think it's more realistic to aspire to play ball and then define how you will play ball. Now, how you play ball means you don't conform and just become a degenerate, greedy guy. As opposed to thinking that one day things will be fair.
Yeah, okay. Society will never be fair because even when we look at, I think someone shared a joke, a meme today, not a joke, some photos. So it was photos of WNBA players wearing "Pay what you owe us," and someone had written like, "Imagine working in a company that's not even breaking even, and then asking for a salary raise." You see, so that's the reality of life. No one wants to watch WNBA as much as we want to watch NBA.
Not nearly. You didn't see when Shane Gillis, you know Shane Gillis, the comedian?
Yeah.
At the ESPYs, he cracked a joke. He was like, so ESPYs, that sports award show.
Yeah.
So he names a basketball player, NBA, hey! And then he names a fake WNBA player. Sit right here, and guys go, hey! It's like, I knew you guys don't even. Just to show this fighter, this thing for it, we want equal pay. Come on, man.
It's the same thing with now, and this is what got me in trouble with Anyiko, but it's the same thing with now female OnlyFans. They're the ones who make the most money. You can just go there, parade your dick the whole day.
No one
You won't
cares.
make as much money as a woman parading her own whatever. So life will never be fair. So even with the society, it can never be fair. I think what we are all looking for is the illusion of fairness. So in such societies like the Americas, there's that illusion. With Kenya, it's not there. We just know this person is above the law. This one plays with the rules.
I think America has lost it now. I'd say I'd use more like maybe Scandinavia. And what people forget about these European societies, the successful ones, Scandinavia, Sweden, all those places. Yes, healthcare, free school, free uni. In fact, my closest friend's wife, she's from Denmark, and they were paid to go to uni. You know, like hey,
yes, I think it's 1,000 euros a month.
But also on the flip side, people forget there's a whole elitistry there that still runs most of the things.
Yeah.
It's just that now here is better because you'll have your basics.
After the tax, 45%.
The tax is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but see that the illusion works very well because. I mean, look, when they look around, they look at Africa, when they look at America, like, no, us guys, I mean, I hear even now you can have certain cosmetic procedures done for free. So they look around, they're like, we're better off.
So, you know that cosmetic thing, it's also in Cuba.
In Cuba?
Yes. So Cuba has the most dick enlargement surgeries. If you hear that your girlfriend is dating a
Cubano.
Yeah.
You're in
just
problem.
know that it's crazy, man. Like, so that country, like free healthcare, people don't have freedom, the freedoms that we have. So the only way is they have big dicks. Unless you go to bed and you're like, So but that's but I think even as much as America has lost that, I think America always has this thing of you could be the next millionaire. You know, the American dream. And that's the reason why like Republicans sometimes appeal to people because they're there like, we won't increase taxes for rich people. I love since you're a poor person, you're there like, I'm the next rich guy.
And in many cases, they've kind of created an ecosystem where if especially you go there and inject, like now if you went or I went, I interviewed the infamous, or rather famous now, Ikonini, and his story is riveting. From where he started to where he is, that crazy work ethic of Kenyans.
I need to watch that. Yeah.
Crazy work ethic of Kenyan, and then just going to America and injecting it, and rising from literally being working with Mexicans on a construction site to being having touched a couple $1 million. So, and he just went there on that work ethic, that work focused work ethic. I have to lazima I work. I'm not here to complain about what. So at least there, fundamentally the system exists where if you just apply yourself.
I interacted with such a Kenyan. So there's a fan of the show.
Shout out to you by there.
Fan of the show is called Mato. So Mato is based, I think, in San Antonio. So we decided to meet. I think we met in Dallas, and he was like, let's go. No, he asked me, order an Uber, kuja to this place, I'll pay the Uber. Because you see, the Uber is crazy, man. See, we are used to, like, if I spend 1,000 shillings, I'm like, nilienda mbali. Pale, like, damn, $60. You know how painful it is to spend.
$60 a lot.
Yeah. So I figure there, and he introduces me to this Kenyan guy. So it was a country club. So the place just looked fancy. And the two kids have been born there, so they are more American than they are Kenyan. Know their accent and everything. And then baadaye nikamuuliza, like, damn, country club ni kali. Like, how he plays, like, how much is membership? Because mezoezi za Kenya za 1 million per year or 400k. Because Kenya at least unapaka hizo za 400k, si ndio per year. And then the guy is like 70,000 per year. And the Kenyan guy is there, and he'd been there, I think, maybe for around 10 years. So started out as a truck driver, and then ended up owning trucks. So now he has, like, a lot of trucks. He and a wife wake, they run the business, and they live the softest
so
life.
7K ain't a thing. It's like 70K none.
Yeah.
Man.
So they live the softest life, and you look at that. So I always say that even one of the things that Black Americans can learn from Africans is we always look at the glass as half full. We see the way America is, because it's a racist society, no one disputes that. Now it's up to you to look at the glass as half full. So don't care about what they think about you. Is what do I think about myself? What can I make from this situation? That's why, have you ever noticed that in States, even when boxers are facing each other and you do something, the first thing is like, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to disrespect me. With Africa, the only people who demand respect are parents. Otherwise, the rest of us don't care.
Yeah.
Like, if I enter the room and you don't respect me, I'll just move on.
And it's a freedom of sorts.
Yes. But with states, that can lead to us fighting and what. Does it translate?
Oh, respect, man.
Yeah.
Guys are doing life in prison because of
respect. Like, you value respect more than freedom. And freedom is what separates you from an animal, you see. But I also look at it, like, another counter argument is always look at South Africa. And the way also South Africans are prone to that violent shit, you know. So I always look at it from, if maybe it's in your DNA, because I remember I was reading something that fathers pass their stress onto their kids.
So you think slavery, that's torment?
Yes, it stayed with them. And, you know, the fact that under slavery, everything was solved with violence. So that's how
I think that's true, because I did hear Joe Rogan talk about how that natural thing we have as human beings where we're very apprehensive about anything that slithers, like a snake. So it's from prehistoric times where, I mean, a lot of human beings were being, in the early days, were being wiped out by poisonous snakes. So at some point, that trauma is in your DNA. That's why naturally, most people are scared of snakes just by instinct. It's like so it's from a DNA point of view. Yeah. But now as we man, I think with Mwafreeka can go for like even 5 hours, but. I want to ask, because I always ask you, I always pick your brain across the board, even personally, but now also, of course, on air for my viewer. Yeah. Ikonini is still moving and shaking, growing, and tugging at the political coattails, sumbuang a lot of people, growing exponentially. What are your plans for the near future? What new things are you working on?
Do I have anything I'm working on? Funny enough is, I saw this idea, and I think it's wild. There's this idea. There's a podcast called Surrounded. Do you know it?
I look international.
No, it's an international podcast. So what happens is they'll get you, like Eric, the pilot, and then they put you pop, and then you're surrounded by like 20 people who know nothing. about
like
something.
I saw one with yes, I saw Candice Owens with
Yes.
atheists, Jordan
Yeah.
Peterson with Christians.
Yeah. So I've been thinking of like for the Mwafreeka podcast, if I can do something like that where it's surrounded and it's just me annoying the shit out of people. So you just sit there, you ask me questions and we just talk shit. But for Ikonini, I feel like I'm just going to let it. I wouldn't say that I have some grand idea around Ikonini.
Every time I glance at your subscribership, man, it's
Yeah.
like another 5K. I'm like, how long has it been? Like,
Yeah, like I've seen this month. I think this past 1 month was like 8,000 new subscribers. So yeah, that happens. So you're like, oh damn,
8,000
I
is
don't
a
know.
lot.
Yes, I don't know how this happened because like when you're starting out, where like you know at some point I used to count like how many subscribers I've gotten per day. So I'd be like, oh, Leonie, 100, damn. Nowadays I don't know. I just look at the kicks. There's always that figure at the corner.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh. So I saw that. I was like, oh, 8,000 this past month. This is interesting.
You gave me some sound advice. I need not share it here, but it's just more about the organic growth thing. I think there's something some idea I shared with you, and it's something I've chosen to decide to do in terms of growing the fan base more organically and having more of a identity as the platform. But before I got to ask, it's a question I've been asking people, especially people who've been in radio.
Yes.
I don't understand. Of course, you're familiar with the Breakfast Club.
Yes.
Charlemagne, Lona De Rosa, there's DJ Envy, and of course, Jess Hilarious now. Of course, originally was Angela E.
Yeah.
Why? And I spoke to Kisiangani this morning. I spoke to Farid this morning. Now I have you here. I'll ask you as well. Why is there no African or Kenyan show, not even Kenyan, African show, where it's a trifecta of radio, audio, video, podcast, digital, all in one? This literally Breakfast Club formula.
I think that's what Nani is trying to do.
That is successful. Like,
Successful. Okay.
So I don't understand, bro. It's not a talent issue. We have too much talent. And so what I keep hearing is about, 3-4 people I've talked to keep talking about how radio people are set in their ways. But my question is, how set in your ways can you be against a dwindling bottom line? Can you be that set in your ways that against even profits not doing
profiting?
Well? Yeah, not profiting. You're still stuck. Come on. In 2025?
I've dealt with these people, and that you can't teach me anything attitude is there, and that rural crowd would never. See, so they approach the rural crowd as these people who will always listen to radio, even in the next 20 years. Don't forget, internet is getting cheaper. And apart from internet getting cheaper, Elon has pushed his nenzake huko juu satellites. You know the Chinese are doing the same, yes?
With the satellites?
Yes. And as soon as the Chinese enter the game, the prices are going to plunge.
Yeah.
And everyone is aspirational. So anyone who has, because I think I saw some statistics of like the smart phone penetration in Kenya, and it's crazy. It took over 60-something%. And this is even the rural crowd. So for someone to lie to themselves that they can sustain radio in its original format, it's going to be very tricky. But I'd say that according to me, Spice FM, because she's called Oko.
Ndu Oko.
Yes.
Ndu.
How they're doing that, and that's the reason why Eric Latif went to Nini for Fixing the Nation, because Fixing the Nation is on NTV, Nation FM, and they also post the videos on YouTube. So they're trying that. So there are people who've started trying that.
But
I think the Breakfast Club also, not the Breakfast Club, the Hot Breakfast also has that, but they've also not embraced it in a podcast way. So I'd say Fixing the Nation and Spice have embraced it kabisa, and they're trying.
But now let's talk about something bigger, because you're a dreamer.
Yeah.
You're literally called Mwafreeka.
Yeah.
Why is there no version? All of the ones you name are very Kenyan-esque.
Yes.
What about Africa? Leave alone. We don't even have to go.
Okay.
Let's not even. Let's say we're not even competing with Breakfast Club. There's enough English-speaking countries in Africa alone to sustain, because music is kind of the same. We all listen to somewhat of the same thing.
So you see, with them, this because I know what you're asking. I've worked on radio. They want instant profit, instant growth. So if you tell them, remember the thing I was telling you that I used to count the amount of subscribers that we had. So remember like Ikonini, because Ikonini right now is like 4 years and 4 months old. So when Ikonini started, when we got 500 views in a week, I'd be there like, yeah. Right now, if you get 400 views in
In a day.
in an hour,
In an
they're
hour.
like, this is some bullshit. What the hell is happening? You see, but I've seen that growth, and I've seen what it takes to grow. Kenyan media, they want instant results. So yes, that Africa idea is very good, but can they let it grow? Can they let it be like, you know what, 10,000 views?
The
in
traces
a whole
the
month?
traces of this world don't have that money behind them.
They have, but then now you see they have that expensive office that they have to pay for, and there are no people backing it. It's, you understand, there are no investors. Kenyan investors are more involved in what's it called, building malls and doing all that
Think about me, you, Mark G, and some lady.
Yes.
On a show that has music and has content and has interviews.
Yeah.
Why can that not sell?
Because even Sol Fenduka is on radio still, you the co-host of Mark G. Fenduka.
Or it still does radio?
It still does radio. And I think even Mark G does some radio mixes still or something. So, yeah, you have that. Even when Mark G was in quotes fired by DSTV, if you went through the comments, people are like, DSTV needs Mark G more than Mark G
By far.
needs Ninit. So, I don't know. But with Kenya, I think it's people are stuck in their ways. And if you've dealt with the advertising industry also, you know the bullshit. So like I've dealt with them, and I remember going to this. I always give the example. I used to go to these meetings, and they just describe people who don't exist. So
we're trying to sell to a man. This is a man. He comes home and
yeah. So you know that bullshit. So they'd be there like, who drinks pills now? There's someone who hangs out with his friends every Friday. And then new statistics come out, and it's like Gen Zs are not clubbing as much as millennials used to, because Gen Zs are used to drinks being delivered. And
Airbnb banner.
Yes, Airbnbs. And they also feel like they don't need to spend all this money. DJs don't have the same power of breaking new music. Right now, I'll have heard the song before the DJ plays it. So it's a whole different nini. I think even Majuzi, when we go with Kwambox told us that Kiss target ni 18 to 24. And when Ian heard that, he started laughing. Because 18 to 24s don't give a fuck about radio.
Not at all.
Yes, radio to them is nothing.
I famously say, and it's offensive, I feel like in today's version of events, and respect to Maina, what he's done is brilliant. He's gotten a crazy bag out of his career, and he still continues to do.
Yeah.
But I feel his kind of version of what he does survives because people are subjected to radio. If I'm boarding a matatu in the morning,
yes,
I'm going to be listening to radio. Not necessarily by choice, but it's because that's on off. And the moment that switches kidogo, the moment people realize, why are we listening to radio on this matatu? And someone, maybe a certain matatu circle starts playing something different.
Yeah, podcasts.
A podcast, for example.
Yeah.
It's over.
Friendly on sika zetu. Kinembe. Because sasa pia, sometimes we work against ourselves. Because kama juzi nilicheka sana when I had Gloria Orwoba and she was there talking about alisema kinembe yangu ni chafu.
But I'm going to push back on you there, bro. Kinembe and fuck you is how we talk.
Yeah.
It's not how people talk. I always say we're not stupid. We know how to compartmentalize. When you're talking to me, you can say kinembe. When you're in a corporate setting discussing billions, you need not say it.
Yes.
But the reason you're there is because people listen to kinembe.
Yes.
That's the one thing the public needs to start keeping it real about.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a problem with the family group I'm in where everyone's so uptight, uncles, aunts. And the person I respect in life the most is my mzee. Because the real one, we used to watch Def Jam with him. So I know how the things he laughs at for real. So every time you try push into these groups and you try and there's that thing for no, that's too far. We cannot discuss that. Fuck that, man.
Yeah.
When I do have kids, even I'm not saying that I'll just let them be crass, but I'll keep it a certain level of real with them. It's not gonna be this compartmentalized thing of I'm an adult, you're a child, you can never think like this. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, you're probably cussing with your friends.
Yeah.
So
see, my kid is I think right now her savings for Mwaka, I think from me it's 2,500. Is it 600? The last time she told me from the mom it's like 1,000 and what. You know why? Because of cursing. Every time we curse around her, it's 20 shillings. So she'll just be there like, I heard you. Then she has her little book, but she knows that she's not supposed to curse. So sometimes I'll joke with her like, you do know that you live around here for free. So why are you putting us there? But I want her to also understand that's a reality of life. Adults talk in a certain way. Just because you've heard them talk like that does not mean that you're going to also talk the same. So she knows. We've never had any situation where we are called by the teacher and we are told, you know what, your kid cursed in school. So she knows it's wrong. And when I do it, normally it's subconsciously. Like itakuwa, I'm watching something. Then shit, someone comes running. I heard you, 20 shillings. So you see, so I think that uptightness has to end with a certain generation. And I think our generation has to be the one to stop that. Because we used to believe, I think there's that, that saying of you don't get old because you stop, you don't stop playing because you get old because you stop playing. Yes. And it's the same thing. We used to believe that if you reach a certain age, you're supposed to act in a certain way. So even for us, like I remember because I'm a big rap fan, I used to know that rap has a retirement age. I never knew that at some point I'd be listening to 55-year-old rappers, the Jay-Z's. I think Jay-Z's turning 56 this year. You see, because you knew, ukishapika after 30, achana rap.
Now you have to be
40.
serious.
Yeah. So the same thing with adulthood. Like we looked at our parents be so uptight, like so rigid that sasa sisi tunaka watoi. I think that's why people started this nonsense of 20 is the new 40. It's because we have less sticks up our
asses. I could have said it better, and I'm going to leave it on that note, man. That's been a fantastic engagement with Mwaf from
Ikonini. Episode what?
It's going to be episode.
Because unajua nini pia because ile time unatupatia flowers pia lazima uangalie flowers, uchukue flowers zako. You know the start that most podcasts don't go past episode 3.
Oh yes. We're just shy of based on what I have in the holster. This almost 59, 60 there about.
Yeah, that's really dope.
So moving and shaking. We've been trying to do more output. We added one more member to the team. That's added a lot of value as well.
Yeah.
And I've also just been injecting more. Like as we're shooting today, it's a Sunday. I might be shooting another one after this.
Okay.
So bro, like I said, this is my element, and I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, plus your collabos with Nani are normally wild, man. With Coffee Pump.
Yeah.
Like even I've not finished the episode the three of you did with Farid and Nani.
When Sirius talks about making it a thing, today I really wanted to also do a trio with you and Saj, but he couldn't be here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But the trio element also as well. I mean, you're a perfectionist when it comes. You guys have the weekend update, which is a trio. Yeah. 3 energies just working well together. But like I say, you keep inspiring, man. Like you're one of my true notes when it comes to content, especially consistency, dissemination, and just fearlessness. Fearlessness. That's my last frontier. I work in a corporate setting,
Najua.
So I have to balance.
Yeah, you have to balance you can't be there screaming Kinembe every day.
So that's been an amazing episode, man. Open invite still stands. I'd like to come feature soon also.
Maybe sinajua ukiwa free tu unaniambia alafu unakuja because I always enjoy that also.
It's fun. This was so easy. So easy. I didn't even have anything in mind, but we've gone everywhere relevant. Yeah. So if you've not subscribed, surely you better have subscribed. Unangoja nini, man. It's been another episode every other time with Eric Mwafreeka from Ikonini, legend in the building. Please do subscribe. Until next time, it's a wrap.
Eotwe. Sisi tunakujua hivyo